Hello, everyone. My name is Professor Gatrad, and I'm a consultant pediatrician who looks after very sick children every day. That's my job. And in my work, always there is Mickey. So Mickey today is also going to help me to try and talk to you today about a very important subject, and that is how dangerous plastic is. And in order to tell you about this, I will tell you a small story about 3 bottles. So I'm going to share the screen and tell you the story. So here we are. So we're telling you the story about 3 bottles, the red one, the purple, and the green. I set up WASUP, which is World Against Single-Use Plastic, 3 years ago. And now this has gone global with the help of various people around this country and also in various other countries. In fact, there are 9 countries where we got WASUP ambassadors. In the UK, we are part of the Commonwealth Games through the United by Birmingham logo, which is that. We work with the Miss England girls across the country, 15 of them, and we're working with a huge company, which is a construction company, international company, and we deliver lectures. I deliver lectures in 50 schools at least in the West Midlands. Canal and Rivers Trust help us to clean the canals safely. Why is there all this fuss? Well, first of all, there are millions of plastic bottles being discarded every minute around the world, and they get into the water, washed up on the beaches, and the marine animals eat the plastic because they think that is fish, and they die of starvation. So do the fish. Here we've got some plastic that we've been able to remove from the fish. This is plastic that we can see. Now, microplastic is something that we cannot see and that has already got into our food chain. The plastic that we're talking about, that WASUP is all about, is to decrease and stop using the single-use plastic, of which the oceans contain 50%. Microplastic is harming us by weakening our immune system. That means we get lots of infections, makes us infertile, so we can't have babies. It can give us cancer. It's passed on from the mother to the baby, and it takes thousands of years for it to degrade. So let's find out where plastic actually comes from. It comes from fossil fuels, which basically are hydrocarbons. So by burning hydrocarbons, we are making things worse for climate change. So if we stop use of plastic or decrease it, there'll be decreased carbon footprint. So oil and gas produces plastic. The hydrocarbons are put together into big chains, long chains, and finally they all conglomerate to make plastic. That plastic is put into furnaces to be melted, and then it is molded into bottles that can take milk or drinks to the supermarket where we buy them. And here we have Sam, who has mindlessly thrown this bottle away. So Sam has got a friend called Sally and also Max. So Sam's thrown this away. Sam's bottle arrives here. It could go into a landfill. Sally's bottle arrives here, and that goes into the oceans. And Max's bottle goes into a recycle bin. So this is Sam's bottle. There we are. It's taken by the waste lorry that dumps all the rubbish down into the earth. It's a big hole in the earth called a landfill. The rain that comes down pushes the plastic further and further into the earth, but the rain then takes the soluble plastic and it causes leachates. These leachates are poison, not only to the animals, but also to the trees. The leachates permeates through the earth and affects the animals and the biodiversity. And it also goes into the underground water table to the oceans. So it also harms the marine animals in the ocean. Here we are, the cow's dead, the animals have died, and the trees have fallen. The purple bottle has got a similar sad story. Sally threw this bottle away, and she ran away. That bottle was blown by the wind into this stream, which took it to the river, and eventually it reaches the oceans. In the oceans, it reaches various places where the currents take it, and one of them is a big garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean. And there are 5 of these around the world. In these garbage patches come all the marine animals to have some food, what they think is food, so they eat plastic and they die of starvation. Here, some of them get caught up in plastic bags and they suffocate and die. So what's happening to this bottle now is that it's broken down into small particles and eventually joins up with all the other plastic that's around and forms microplastic. That microplastic is eaten by the fish, and that fish is eaten by salmon or trout, or indeed tuna. And that lands up on our table, and we are eating microplastic that is going to seriously harm us. So it is already in the food chain. We need to do something about it. The third bottle has a happier story, and this is Max. He thinks about putting it on the floor or in there, but he decides to put it eventually in the recycling bin. So that's taken by a recycling van to a sorting place where it is put into large bins, which are then crushed into microplastic, which is washed and then melted, and new plastic is made out of that. So new plastic, which is recycled plastic, you can make lots of things out of these. Here, 2,000 bottles were used to make this bench. So you can make benches, you can make slides, you can make shoes, you can make clothes, handbags, tiles, you name it, sky's the limit. So if by 2050, if we do not do something, then there'll be more plastic in the ocean than there'll be fish. Who can stop all this? It is you. What's WASUP all about? It's about raising awareness that I'm doing today, educating you as I'm doing today, and self-educating because I learn from you and others. We do litter picking. Schools adopt streets and litter pick, and we also clean canals. We put pressure on corporates and companies to stop using plastic and stop covering food in plastic. We've got a website called wasupme.com and another website called my@walsall.org.uk. Everyone should listen to this WASUP song. That has been created by 3 schools in Walsall. It is brilliant. What can be recycled? There are many things that can be recycled, and they're all in this diagram. Milk cartons, cardboard, food tins, glass, mixed paper, and some bits of household plastic. These are the recycling symbols that I learned, which I didn't know about 3 years ago. They're quite simple to remember. 1 is easier recycling material, 6 is more difficult. So here the bottles we're talking about are easier. Polystyrene, which is the white stuff that comes on in television sets, is more difficult to recycle. Many schools are involved with me, well over 100, not only in this country, but abroad as well. This school, Ryder Hayes, is showing us the WASUP sign, which is that sign. It's a universal WASUP sign. We've got boys' schools, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Navy Cubs, you name it, they're all part of WASUP. We've got thousands and thousands of volunteers across this country and also abroad. Many of them are involved with the 2022 challenge, which is collecting 2022 bags. By the beginning of June 2022, when the Commonwealth Games will start. Anybody who collects 2022 bags of litter will be given a cup, which we are calling the David Attenborough Trophy, or we might call it the Greta Thunberg Trophy, and hopefully they will present this trophy to the winner. Here we are. This school is part of the 2022 challenge, and here the children are with me fishing plastic. I built them this towpath so that they can safely get onto the kayaks. What can schools do? Well, first of all, you can listen to the song, have eco committees, weekly reminders in assembly, education about ensuring that everything that's recycled needs to be cleaned, because if it's contaminated, you cannot recycle it. Water fountains in schools and companies. Walking to school is a good idea with your parents, or cycling if you're older, to ensure there is no carbon footprint from the use of a car from petrol or diesel. Adopting streets, as I've mentioned already. Children taking messages, that is yourselves, telling your parents about WASUP, and also telling them about simple things such as tea bags also contain plastic. The last three bits I'll show you in the next slides. The catering in your school can be changed. Here we've got these sachets, and many schools now do not have sachets. They have big reusable plastic containers, which are safe for children. And that is, tomato sauce in this case, is decanted into the reusable plastic dishes, which are taken to the tables for children to have with their food. Here we've got cutlery being and crockery being used to serve food. Cardboard serving food. Here there is no meat. Again, meat, as you may know, has a carbon footprint. We can use tin plates, and many people in countries abroad use tin plates because they can't afford plastic. These bins are things of the past in many corporations and schools. All the rubbish now is put into various plastic containing or tin containing or general waste. So there are different type of bins for different waste material. TerraCycle is a huge international company where anything that's difficult to recycle can be sent, for example, pens, crisp packets, etc. All you have to do is register with TerraCycle, download the free shipping labels, and put them on a box that contains all your recycled material, for example, crisp packets, and send it free of charge to TerraCycle. Your crisp packets here, writing pens, you can have plastic that covers bread. They can all be put into different containers and sent to TerraCycle. There are 8,000 depots for TerraCycle all along the UK, and I'm sure there'll be some in your country as well. And there are 21 countries involved with this. So what we need to do overall is to refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. But importantly also, we should rethink and refocus, because if we don't do this, then our planet is in danger. As you can see here, the planet is eaten by this plastic tide. This beautiful mural was made by one of our schools in Warsaw, the Blackwood School, primary school. So it is your responsibility to make sure that as custodians of the earth, you look after it. You educate people. You tell people not to produce plastic. You tell people not to use plastic. You tell people not to throw away plastic, because all of this is going to harm us. So it is everyone's responsibility, me, you, and everybody, to make sure that we decrease plastic. One thing we can start with is certainly decreasing the use of single-use plastic. So I'm relying on you, and don't rely on anybody else, because the person that can do it is you. Now I'm going to show you a quiz. Now, Mickey, shall we help the children answer these questions? So these are 8 questions, that your teachers will talk to you about because they have got answers that I've given to your teachers. But for completeness, I'm going to tell you what the answers are. So WASUP stands for World Against Single-Use Plastic. There is 50% single-use plastic in oceans. Plastic is made from oil and gas, which is hydrocarbons. The 4 R's are refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. By 2050, there'll be more plastic in the oceans than fish. Microplastic affects our immune system and will affect our newborn babies, which will be sad, and also it causes cancers. Plastic takes thousands of years to degrade. Who can make a difference? It's you, it's me, and it's everybody put together. We all need to get together because we need to make sure that we get WASUP done. So thank you very much for listening. Just remember, it is your responsibility. You are the custodians of the planet, and you need to look after it for the sake of yourselves and also the future generations. Thank you very much for listening to me, and God bless, and stay well. Bye-bye.